Our first move is going to have the sticks. We're going to be outside like we were the other day. All right, one stick, the stick that you're bringing inside, so adducting, that stick's going to be a little closer. So if I'm going to move my right, my left stick's going to be a little closer, my right stick will be a little further away. That'll obviously flip when we switch sides. So we'll be tall. My left leg's going to be supporting me, so be tall, push the sticks into the ground. Keeping that knee straight, bring this leg over, and I'm going to try to slide my foot into the stick while I'm lifting my foot. My knee's going to try to stay. I'll slide down when I'm done, come back over, and then I'm going to drop my knee in, and I'm going to try to internally rotate here. So I'm still pushing my foot into the stick. Push it here, and I'm going to just go side to side, pushing the stick in, rising the foot, sliding it back down. You're going to feel that one high up in the adductor here. Then I slide over, again, pushing that outstep of the foot into the stick, lifting up, trying to drop the knee and lift the foot. You're going to feel that more in that TFL right in here. We'll do 5 or 6 on each side, okay? That's to kind of warm up a little internal and external rotation with the hip. Then we're going to get a band. We're going to get in a pal-off kneeling position, so we'll get tension on the band. We'll come to a kneeling position here. We're going to keep the band out in front, and our goal here is to try to not move around. We're not swinging our hips. We're not bending our spine. We're going to be here. We're going to step up and then come back around. Then we'll go with the inside foot and come back around. Keeping that core still, make sure that pelvis stays tucked. We don't want to dump it forward and arch the low back here. We want to keep those lower abs engaged. This is going to help us. Those toes are tucked. Come up and around. You'll feel that core working. I'm trying not to lean. There's going to be a little bit of a lean. Okay, and that's again, just that core stabilizing the pelvis when we demand movement. And that's really what we're after here, which is what fires you back up, okay? So we'll run through those, about 10 each leg here, 6 to 8 on each leg over here on the sticks. We'll run through that twice. This is fun. I've got an incline bench set up, and then I've got a band tied to any sort of anchor that you have. So I'm gonna work on my right hip here. So I'm gonna grab with my left hand. All right, I've got quite a bit of band here, so this is all going to be fun. I'm going to get into what's called just kind of a pigeon position here, and I'm going to load in, and I'm going to drive out. Load in, so I'm stretching that hip here, and I'm pushing off, kind of bring myself back up. Reach, drive. Reach, loading here, got a big stretch in the hip, and then I'm driving back out from that hip. So I'm trying to push my foot, my whole leg into the box as I reach and pull out. You don't need a lot of band here, so just a small band to work. That was actually probably a little too much for me. Then, so that's going to work the outside of that hip, that external rotation. Then we're going to be here on a hero board. If you just have a slider, you can get a towel on a hard floor. You can get a slider is fine. Hero board work. This Sorinex makes a piece like this, whatever you have. If you have some sort of stick for stability and a little safety, that would help. Now we're going to work the inside of the leg, so the adductor here. So I'm going to have my stick with the board. I'm going to roll out, I'm going to slide out. Notice how I take my weight over here, and then I pull back. So I don't leave my weight hanging out in this leg here. I take my weight out into the slider. I feel a big stretch here and here, really in the pelvic floor also, and then I pull back. I'm using these muscles to pull back, so I stretch the muscle long, here, and then I use them to pull back together, okay? I want to make sure that I try not to use this stick unless I get out here too far and then I need to bail myself out, that's fine. You'll feel this kind of in the low back if we keep that pelvis neutral. So again, our core is making sure that we don't dump that pelvis forward and arch that back. Keep everything strong here. We slide out and we just get to where we can get to and we come back in. If your feet need to stay parallel to each other, so if you find that you're kind of pulling with your heel only, your feet will get a little weird. This may even turn a little bit and get weird. You can always just reset. Think about pulling from your toe and your heel. So we don't want to just pull from the front of the foot. We don't want to just pull from the back of the foot. We want to pull from the whole thing. Again, if you get yourself kind of discombobulated on each side, just reset. It's fine, no big deal. So I'll reset here, and then we're out. Big stride, come back in, pull from that toe and that heel. Big stride out, pull back in. We'll get 3 or 4 sets of 8 to 10 on each of these. Again, keeping that core still. And this is working the external rotation and then the adduction here. Try everything to come in and out, more in the frontal plane here. Okay, you saw how we worked in that sagittal plane up there. And then finally, what we'll do is an old-fashioned squat down, rotate, and then we're gonna stand up. Just try to flex those knees. So we're gonna, extend those knees, try to push the knees straight back, and then drop back down to the squat, twist, push the toes into the ground here, stand up, try to push those knees back. You'll feel a big stretch here. Come back up, drop back into the hips, chest up, rotate up, and you'll feel the core working, you'll feel your hips stretching, you feel the inside, you'll feel your glutes, and then you'll feel kind of behind the knees and in the higher calf. All that needs to be stretched out, all that needs to be activated. On all these, also remember that the first rep and even the first set is not going to look as good as the second rep, the 10th rep, the third set, the fourth set. So we'll get better at this. We're kind of warming up almost, or ramping up, understanding that our first rep is not going to look as good as our subsequent reps. So we're always trying to build on top of each other for this. If you got questions, hit me up. Hope this helps.